All right, we're still waiting for people to show up. Oh, looks like we got some people in. Hello to Nikki. Let's see, we're going to get started here right at the top of the hour. Hi, Nikki. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let me know where you're from or where you're what your business is about. Just go ahead and post in the comment section. And we are a little bit early, so I'm just waiting for some more people to pop on. From California. Well, good to see you. Let's see, and we've got Misty here now. We're still a little bit early. Hopefully, Nikki says, started up my LLC for bookkeeping. Awesome. So for those of you that are wondering why I'm doing this last minute webinar, we're going to get started at the top of the hour. But basically, I did a webinar this afternoon, and it went really well. We had a really good attendance. I think we had a lot of energy. It was great. And I got to the end, and people were asking about the replay, and then I realized that I forgot to record the webinar. So I decided, well, I can either do the webinar again and just record it on my computer screen, or for more fun, I think it'd be better to do it in front of people again. And it's always good to do these things live and get the practice. So that's what I decided to do. So we're going to get started right at the top of the hour. It's a little bit early. And so Nikki says, yes, I was one of them asking my internet was tripping. So thank you so much. You're welcome. So we'll do this again. So a lot of this will be a repeat of what we did earlier, but hopefully you'll still find this helpful and valuable. And I've still got some coffee from earlier, which I'm probably going to need. So anyway, still got a couple minutes left, waiting for some more people to pop on. And let's see here. I'm also streaming this on YouTube, which I've never done, but evidently that's something that Zoom can do. And so that's kind of cool. Let me make sure I've got my screen all set up. And like I said, we'll get started here in about 5 minutes. We'll wait for some more people to pop on. And again, this is a last minute thing, so I don't know. We might get very few people. We might get a full house. I honestly don't know how many people we're going to have show up. It was so last minute that I tried to reset the confirmation emails to go out, and I did something wrong, and none of them went out. I don't know how many additional people actually signed up in the last 2 hours, but I know at least several did. And so hopefully they got the follow-up email that provided the link. So anyway, let me get my screen going here. I'm just checking some things. So Nikki and Misty, who are the only two attendees we've got so far, just give me a second. We'll just wait. People pop on. I haven't heard from Misty yet. Misty, what do you do? Where are you from? Go ahead and leave a comment in the chat box if you can. And let's see. Set this up. Oh. All right. Wisconsin. Cool. I've got a lot of family in Wisconsin, mostly from, I think, Green Bay area. although I have not been to Wisconsin since I was in high school. I went up there for camping when I was in high school, and it was June, and it was really cold. All right, we've got the Spanish Brad Pitt with us tonight. That's cool. Where are you from? Let me guess, not Spain. All right. We're going to get started here in just a couple minutes, and we'll see how many people pop on as we get moving. Usually what happens is as we start going here, we'll get some more people pop on. Again, this is a last minute thing, and I'm really doing this so that I can get a recording in, so that I can send out a recording tomorrow to anyone who misses this. I don't think people were expecting this, so I don't know how many people are actually going to show up. But if not a lot show up, that's great. Then I've got the people that are here, and I can give you my undivided attention, and that'll be cool too. So the Spanish Brad Pitt is from Maryland, right up the I-95 corridor from me. Cool. All right, we're going to get started in about 3 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. If I can figure out how to do that. And let me know. Let's see. Go participants. And we've got. So if you have questions during the webinar, go ahead and leave them in the Q&A box. There should be a Q&A box somewhere on your screen. I'm going to pull up the chat. So, and what I'm going to do is at the very end, I will make sure to answer all of your questions. But if one of you could just leave a comment in the chat and let me know if that you see that you can see the screen. We had a problem on the earlier webinar where the screen wasn't advancing. Probably another reason why we need to do a replay. But just let me know if you can see it. It should say welcome. Today I'm going to share with you my Lock It Down legal protection system. Okay, great. Misty says, welcome screen is up now. Awesome. We're going to get started here in about another minute. Nikki says, yes, see it. Awesome. Good to know. And I am pumped. I'm excited to do this again. These are always a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing these webinars, and hopefully you enjoy listening to them. But sometimes I get a little excited talking about the legal stuff, you know, being a lawyer and all. All right, so it is at the top of the hour, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I will tell you, Nikki says, I do. You're amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that, Nikki. We'll see how many more people pop on. But basically what we're going to do here is it takes about an hour to get through the entire presentation. And that's if I'm talking really fast. And then at the end of that hour, I do have a special offer for all of you that I will share. And actually, hold on one second. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. So, and I have an offer that I'm going to share with you at the end. That'll take another 5-10 minutes to go through that part of the presentation, and then I'll just open it up to Q&A after there. So let's go ahead and hop in and get started. Welcome to tonight's training on the Lock It Down legal protection system, where we're helping course creators like you or online businesses to transform your course or your business into a real legally legit business that is set up for long-term success. Right now, there are a ton of online entrepreneurs, and you may be one of them, and you've either given up on legally protecting your business, or you just simply are stuck and not sure what you should do from a legal standpoint. Or, and this may be the worst, you're selling a course or a product, but you have absolutely no legal protections in place at all, leaving your personal and your business assets exposed to legal liability or even theft. Who can identify with one of those? Just raise your hand. Let me know. If any of this sounds like then this training is going to be extremely powerful for you, because you may be trapped in what I call the worried entrepreneur cycle, where you're always worried, stressed, overwhelmed, busy, and barely able to get by. There's no protections, no guidance, accountability, or legal systems in your business, leaving you constantly worried about when the next proverbial shoe is going to drop. I see Linda hopped on. Welcome, Linda. And so hence the name Worried Entrepreneur. But today's training is going to unlock a new identity for you. You'll have a chance to become what I call a legally legit CEO, where your course or your business is insulated from those potential legal liabilities. And most importantly, you start to move away from that stress and worry that you're currently feeling and towards impact in the world, because you can stop worrying about doing something illegal and focus more of your effort on not only serving your clients, but also growing and scaling your business. And look, I can sit here and tell you that we've had students who are in similar spot as you go from zero protections in place to feeling more confident and secure in their business. But I'd rather just show you. So here's a couple testimonials I've received from some of my students who have gone through the course and completed it, from William and Jared. And so before we get started, let's make sure that today's webinar will be the exact thing that you need in order to start the process of legally protecting your online business. So you're in the right place today if you're really struggling to manage the legal aspects of your business consistently. Now, maybe you've never started a business, and the thought of getting your legal protections in place may just scare the shit out of you. You've only made a handful of sales, or maybe none at all, and you're starting to question whether you really have what it takes to make a full-time income from selling your course. I see Jeff just popped on, and Joyce, welcome to both of you. Glad to have you. We're talking about the people that are in the right place. So maybe you also have a course and you have some legal protections in place, and you feel like you maybe have done it correctly, but you also know that you might be missing something because you haven't consulted a lawyer. And honestly, you've never done this before. You got all your legal information from Google and YouTube. Or maybe you've successfully launched your course and now you're getting a little nervous. You haven't taken any steps. And by course, I also mean your business, your online business. You haven't taken any steps to protect your intellectual property, and you're probably paying more than your fair share in taxes. You aren't sure what to do next. And other than pestering your friends in your online business groups for free legal advice, which honestly you don't really want to do. Or maybe you've been steadily launching and growing your business, and you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, not knowing what you don't know. You go to bed every night, sick to your stomach that you might have messed something up with regards to the legal aspects of your business, and you're just not sure what to do next. So how many people, something here resonates with you? I think you can, Misty, raise your hand. There should be a function to raise your hand. If any of this sounds like you, then Nikki, raise your hand. You might be in the right place. And Joyce and Spanish Prep raise their hand. Awesome. So in this class tonight, I'm going to be sharing some new information about how you can legally protect your online business with proven systems, which means we might be talking about some things that you honestly haven't heard before. And sometimes what I say may sound a little counterintuitive, but that's exactly why it works. It's different. And one of the reasons that most course creators fail is because they lack focus. If you can't sit still for the 60 minutes it takes to attend this class tonight, then I do have serious concerns about your ability to grow your business, and you should too. I'm not saying that to be mean, but I'm not here to sugarcoat what you already know. And that's if you're right here right now, then you already know that you need to focus on your business. And you also know that your business does not have the sufficient legal protections in place, and that is a major problem. I'm assuming that most of you here tonight would not be attending this training if you did have the legal protections in place. So this masterclass can help you, but not if you've got a million tabs open, you keep flipping back and forth. So I want the best for you, just like you are going to want the best for all of your students and your clients and your customers. And so you deserve to give yourself 60 minutes to learn how you can start the process of getting some legal protections in place for your business. And if you can do that, I have a special bonus waiting for those of you who stay until the very end. And I just realized I'm going to stop sharing for a second that I forgot to start the recording button again. So I'm going to go ahead and start that. I think it's recording because it's on YouTube, but I did forget. So now we're going again. So now we're going to get in the meat of the training here. And let me share my screen again with you. I need to like put a postie on my screen that says, remember to to record. Okay. So now I want to tell you this. Let's see. I think I'm okay. So if you can do that, you can sit still. You can be here. I do have a special bonus for those of you who stay until the end. So I currently charge $299 for a 30-minute legal strategy session, and people come away from these meetings with a clear understanding of where their legal holes are in their business and what they need to do to move their business forward. But if you stay until the end today, I'm going to show you how you can schedule one of those meetings with me absolutely free. And if you're someone who actually wants to see positive changes in your business, then make sure you watch this masterclass on your laptop or desktop and close out all the additional apps right now. And as you're doing that, I want to take a minute to make sure you understand who this webinar is not for. If you're someone who thinks that one day what you're doing now will give you the break that you want, and you're not willing to change, then this is not for you tonight. You probably will need to change what you're doing, especially if you want to see different results in your business. If you're someone who's on this webinar thinking that it's my job to convince you that this works, then this is also not for you. Honestly, if you think it's my job to convince you of something, especially when we're talking about the legal aspects of your business, then you can just close the webinar and leave right now because you're going to be very disappointed. This is not my job. My job is to show up, serve you to the best of my ability, and give you the real actual steps to legally protecting your course so that you can turn it into a real, sustainable, legally legitimate business. Now, if you're someone who loves searching on the internet for answers to your legal questions so that you can save a few bucks, then this is not going to be for you either. Listen, I get it. Saving some money by finding the answer to a complicated legal question on some online forum is great, but you know what else is great? Building a business that you know for certain is legally protected and not having to look over your shoulders wondering if you did things the right way. When you can stop worrying about the legal stuff, you can focus on building an amazing business that makes more money and has a bigger impact in the world because you have more free time to spend with your new students and clients. And lastly, if you're someone who whines, moans, and complains when someone gives you 60 minutes of their best training and then gives you an opportunity to work with them on a deeper level, then this is not for you. Listen, I've been a lawyer for 17 years, which is hard for me to say, and it would be literally impossible for me to take that 17 years of knowledge and give it all to you in one 60-minute presentation. But what I am going to do to you today is break down the Lock It Down legal protection system for you and then dive very deeply into how to legally protect your online course in a way that you're left with my #1 strategy that you can implement and start to see results with. And by the way, whenever I say course in this, I really mean online business. We do work with a lot of course creators, but we work with a lot of online businesses as well. And then if you feel like you need more help and guidance, we will give you an opportunity to access all of the legal templates, information, and frameworks you will need for your business, all while having me in your back pocket for coaching and guidance. So if that's okay with you, then let's move on. I want to start in the beginning so that you understand why all of this is so important. And Jeff says, Jim, I'm not an online business, non-online LLC. All of this information I'm going to be talking about tonight, Jeff, is going to be applicable to probably what you're doing. I find it, there's not a lot of people out there that are completely non-online businesses. Everyone has some level of online component to them, but stick with me and see if some of this might be applicable to you. So if you're here, you're probably someone who started their business to create a better life with both financial and time freedom in mind. And I know that's why I started my business. And it all started for me when I was sitting in court for an event called Calendar Call about 5 or 6 years ago. So do you remember back in high school when your teacher called the roll every day to see who was present? I know I do. And this picture probably dates me a little bit, but so it's kind of like that, but with a lot more at stake. With lawyers, when you attend a calendar call, you're not just saying present. You must announce yourself to the court. You have to give a brief summary of why your case should or shouldn't be heard that day. And after listening to all the attorneys for about an hour, the judge will take a brief recess and come back and tell everyone whether the case is going to be heard, and if so, when they have to come back in court that day. As you can imagine, this process is extremely stressful for everyone involved. And not only that, but it's a process that is fraught with waste. We're talking 20 to 30 attorneys sitting around billing $200 to $400 an hour or more for an hour, doing basically nothing except sitting there and listening to everyone else talk. And it happens every day at the courthouse in my county and every other county in North Carolina, and it is exactly what it sounds like. So back when calendar calls were handled in person pre-COVID, I remember sitting there and looking around the room trying to calculate how much lawyer time was being wasted sitting at calendar call that day. But aside from the sheer financial waste on the part of the lawyers, there was also the time that I was wasting by not being able to serve my other clients, spending time with my family, or just stressing myself out wondering when my case was going to be heard that day, and if so, wondering whether my case was going to get reached that day, and if so, when. There were so many other things that I wanted to be able to do that I couldn't when I had to waste time preparing for and attending that calendar call. Jeff says, retired Greensboro cop here. Feel your pain. I'm sure you've been to your fair share of calendar calls in Greensboro. And that's when I realized there had to be a better way to practice law. If going to a calendar call was required for me to serve my clients, I wanted out. I wanted it out fast. In that moment, I felt prepared to walk away from everything. And then I met someone. I met a lawyer who was selling a $199 a month digital subscription product to help people who were handling their own divorce. And she was helping hundreds of clients a month without trading her time for money. And not only that, but her customers were getting extremely valuable legal services at the fraction of the cost of hiring an expensive law firm. My mind was blown. How was this even possible? So she pulled open her cell phone and she showed me exactly how it worked. And then it clicked for me. I found a new way to build a legal services business for online entrepreneurs, one that allowed me to stop billing for my time, spend more time with my family, and start building a business in a sustainable way. If she could do this, then I could do this. So I developed a plan and I got to work. By the end of my first 12 months serving online entrepreneurs in this fashion, I put nearly 300 online entrepreneurs through my first legal course, which I'm going to talk to you about at the end. And most importantly, I was back to living in alignment with my core values. Now, we sell two primary legal products here at Hawthorne Law. Both are DIY, and from those two products, we're able to help hundreds of online entrepreneurs each year get their businesses legally protected. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into building this method so that you don't have to. And that process is now called the Lock It Down Legal Protection System, where we have four primary pillars all working together, but they only work because each one plays off of the other. When most people try to legally protect their online business or their course, they usually have one, two, or maybe even three of these elements working. But honestly, it takes all four to truly hit the groove where your business has total and complete legal protection. So the system focuses on developing a solid legal foundation, protecting your online presence, getting your contracts in order, and keeping your intellectual property or IP safe. We can ensure your online business is legally protected by focusing on building a solid legal foundation and getting your online presence under control. And then you can thrive and start to stand out in the marketplace by protecting your contractual relationships and keeping your IP safe. Without these all working together, you will likely be working way too much or have inconsistent legal protections in place, or find yourself searching for answers with little to no results, or else feel trapped and stressed by your business. Now, although these are all required to lock down your business, I know you may just be at the point where you want to generate some sales first. And then once the sales are coming in, you want to focus on legally protecting your online business. And frankly, that's smart. So what I want to do today is dive briefly into each pillar, including how to manage your online presence and protect your intellectual property so that you can get your website set up and start generating some sales. And then we're briefly going to cover your contractual relationships. But first, let's start with getting the proper legal foundation in place for your business. So I define a legal foundation as an underlying base or support created by solid legal principles. A worried entrepreneur has no legal foundation. They have no protection. So this is how most course creators or online businesses run their business. They're watching every step. And if you've lived in the North, if you're familiar with snow and ice, you've probably seen this. I can picture this as a townhome, in Cleveland where I grew up. And I can't tell you how many times I had to deal with a situation like this. If I were this guy, I would be worried too. Or contrast that with this icy lake. Raise your hand if you'd like to cross this lake. Not sure what step to take. Worried that the wrong step is going to send you into that lake. Lots of effort, minimal results. But here's the thing. Let's say somebody did try to cross this lake or even walk down those stairs. And let's also assume that they made it safely. Now, I hope you understand that their resourcefulness has actually become a hindrance because it's taught them that they can make it through because nothing bad happened. So let's talk about the worried entrepreneur versus legally legit CEO. Legally legit CEOs will rely on a strong legal foundation to scale and build their business, not hope and a prayer. Everything is planned out and thought through, and nothing is left to chance. You're calm, you're collected, and you're rested as you have implemented a system that legally protects your online business. So this is what it looks like for the legally legit CEO. And frankly, this is what I would prefer doing. You've got a lake, you've got a nice boardwalk to walk across. Maybe there's some salt down there to get the ice melted. You've got guardrails. You've got a lamp post if it's dark. There's no chance that you're really going to fall into this lake unless you decide to jump over the guardrail, which is, just ridiculous, right? So you have the proper legal structure in place. You know exactly which steps to take and when to take them, which leads us to the legally legit CEO's secret number one: systems planning versus linear planning. Legally legit CEOs practice systems planning, not linear planning. And let me explain to you what that means. Looks like we've got the fraternity house in the house tonight, Sigma Kappa Omega. I don't know if that's a fraternity or a sorority, but looks like we've got some college students here, or maybe retired or alumni. I'm not sure. Welcome. Legally legit CEOs are more concerned with their overall legal strategy as opposed to individual legal tactics. I know this is true because I've gotten numerous clients who have gotten themselves into legal trouble using that exact strategy, if you can even call it that. And they ended up in the middle of an icy lake, kind of like this guy, except that unlike this guy, they didn't plan it. If you can identify with this guy right now, you're not alone, but you can change. You can start to understand that legally jerry-rigging a business is not the way to build a solid legal foundation, and it's the fastest way to run headfirst into legal trouble. The reason why the Lock It Down system works is because it is what I call an end-to-end system. It doesn't cover one piece and then leave you hanging. It covers all the pieces of making sure that your online business is legally protected from top to bottom. They're all designed to fit together. If just one piece is removed, then the whole thing falls apart. You'll be able to control the entire legal process from the very first foundational steps to protecting your intellectual property, because it is a system of interconnected parts that work together in unison. No more Googling, no more uncertainty, just a solid legal foundation. And you don't have to take my word for it. Here's some of my other students who have been through the course. Sankofa says, I was impressed by how you hold the end user's hand in this step-by-step process. The checklist is concise and very informative and splendidly prepares an entrepreneur like myself on what kind of business I want and what I wish to sell, and checking multiple platforms. Oliver says, the toolkit exceeded my expectations. The course was packed with premium content delivered at a valuable price. It gave me the resources I've been needing to fill in the gaps to help protect my business and take it to the next level. I highly recommend Jim and Hawthorne Law, and we'll be looking forward to taking additional classes offered by him in the future. William wrote, this is the best value I've seen recently from a professional service provider. So that leads us to the second pillar, and that is online presence. And I define that as the collective existence of a company or individual that can be found on the web via an online search. Having a website, this is what most people don't understand. Having a website or a blog is just one component of an online presence. So when Jeff talks about I'm not an online business, not an a non-online LLC, if you don't have a website, that's just one part of the equation. Other components include social media profiles, landing pages, advertisements, reviews, online directories. All these things go into your online presence. And in order to keep your online presence protected, all of these properties, all of these pages must be taken into account. If you hate worrying about whether your website is protected or if you have the proper disclaimers on your social media channels, then it's extremely important that you pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you. Now, like you, when I first started an online business about 10 years ago, I was just worried about getting my website up and content generated as quickly as possible. I thought that by having lots of great content, that would satisfy the Google gods and get my website ranked quickly. And once I was ranking well, life would all of a sudden get a lot easier. I remember the first time I tried to place ads directing people to my law firm's website. I worked hard on the landing page. I created an amazing lead magnet. I had an amazing follow-up sequence ready to go. And then I posted my first ad on Google, and I couldn't wait to see how many leads this campaign would generate. And honestly, it did generate leads, but instead of a ringing phone, after a while, I heard crickets. Instead of emails from potential customers, I got an email from the legal department for Google AdSense. Evidently, now the ad was initially approved, and then after several months, it was taken down because I didn't have the right policy and terms on my website, and Google rejected my ad. And not just one of my ads, but all of my ads. So everything just kind of went dark one day. And I have been running ads on AdWords for years, and I'd never had any issues. So what was the problem now? Well, the problem, according to Google, was that my landing page didn't link to the proper legal contracts on my website and violated a number of federal privacy laws. I was shocked, but honestly, not that surprised. The truth is that I was a lawyer and I should have known better. But at the same time, I was following the advice that was provided to me by most online marketers, and I had no idea that my ad account could be turned off by failing to have the proper online contracts in place. Now, who knows how long my ad campaign had been shut off before I realized there was a problem. How many clients I could have missed out on or money wasted by not having the proper legal pages up on my website. My information and the material in my lead magnet could have helped any number of prospective clients, but it didn't. And that wasn't because of Google, it was because of me. So I knew there had to be a better way to protect my online web properties and make sure that nothing like this ever happened again. This way had to not require me searching all over the web and trying to figure out why Google shut down my ads and what I needed to do to fix it. Which leads us to Legally Legit CEO's secret number 2, and that is intention versus chaos. I was operating in chaos. I needed to be operating in intention, because legally legit CEOs use checklists and systems to confirm they're doing things correctly. They proactively act with intention rather than react in chaos to legal obstacles that came their way. And that's exactly what happened to me. If you're in this for the long haul and you want to build a sustainable business that scales, then you must play the long game and you must approach legal in a systematic and intentional way. Now, I understand that it is easy to get by without systematizing your legal protections. You can purchase a legal template here or watch a YouTube video there, but these strategies do not work in the long term. Legally legit CEOs would rather learn how to cover all of their legal bases the right way when they're just starting out so that they can build a deeper connection with their clients and customers. Legally legit CEOs are not interested in putting band-aids on their business every time a legal problem crops up. They're interested in a systematic process that makes sure their entire business is legally healthy, thus minimizing their risk and eliminating their worry. And honestly, that isn't possible if you are sacrificing legal intentionality for those short-term wins. Now, you'll be pleased to know that there is a new way to legally protect your online course or your online business, and it's fueled by intention. And this is an intention more powerful than any flimsy free legal templates or how-to videos that you can find online. Those are great, but in the lock it down in the lock it down method, we call this process intentional verification, and we apply it to every client we help to get their business legally protected. Now, let me explain. Have you ever been to an event? Could be a wedding, could be a CLE, or you don't know what CLEs are, a conference, something like that, where you go to a hotel and there's a lot of people. And you thought to yourself, this was so well thought out. I know, raise your hand. I know when I go to these things, I'm always looking at how they're planned, how they're performed, all these things. Nikki raises her hand. Yeah, like I think about this. Misty raised her hand. I think about these things. Maybe I'm a weirdo. I don't know. Anyway, I've been to a lot of events, and for whatever reason, when you go to an event like this, you just feel like it's so well planned out, right? It's effortless. In fact, it seems like you always know where to go. You know what's coming up next. No stone is left unturned. It seems like everything has been thought through perfectly. And then you go to some other conference or some other event, and everything seems so chaotic. There's lots of good information, maybe, but you never seem to know where to go. You feel like you aren't learning anything because you're so distracted by the lack of planning. And, it's just frustrating, right? And at the end of the event, you're asked to buy a ticket to the next conference. And really, you're just thinking any reason why you can decline at that point, right? So many people have this preconceived notion that in order to legally protect their business, it's important to just do a lot of legal sounding things, such as forming an LLC or using free contracts that they find online. But if you do that, then you're really no better than those organizers of that event that you couldn't wait to leave because the planning was so chaotic. When you try to duct tape your legal protections in place, it's painful. It's painful for you, and it's ultimately painful for your prospective clients and customers. There is an easier way to get your legal protections in place. There's one that minimizes friction and will actually set your business up for a bigger win and longer lasting, long-term success. So let's assume that you acted with a great deal of intention in the way that you planned out your legal strategy. You checked and double checked to make sure you had all the proper legal protections in place. But then you stopped and you failed to pay attention to the legal deadlines and never revisited your contracts to determine whether they were properly updated. Isn't it true that this lack of consistency would, over time, start to deteriorate the legal protections you have worked so hard to put in place? And not only that, but wouldn't this start to seep into all the facets of your business, eventually exposing you as unprofessional and lacking attention to detail with your customers, students, or clients? Well, let's think for a second. What if you didn't do that? What if instead you were intentional about the legal aspects of your online business or course? What if you worked legal protections into your overall system so that it became part of your day-to-day process? You would have all the legal protections you needed without all of the overwhelm. It would portray your business as way more professional and established. The legal protections you created would actually make you stand out in your marketplace and actually attract customers towards you. They would be attracted to your professionalism and attention to detail, and as a result, would be even more excited to work with you or learn about your unique methodology. Customers would buy from you because of the legal protections you put in place, not in spite of those legal protections. Now, we infuse intentional verification into each piece of my Lock It Down system. You'll use it everywhere, from setting up your legal foundation to protecting your online presence to managing your intellectual property. So let's talk about that. What is intentional verification? Well, it's a unique process that we developed to ensure that all of your legal protections are taken care of automatically and regularly. You'll begin this process in the very first lesson entitled Taking Stock of Your Online Business. Now, you'll be led through a series of questions in the very first lesson that will help you to do two main things. First, discover what the biggest legal weaknesses are currently in your online business. And second, determine what first steps you should take to start down the road to making sure your online business is completely and legally protected. There are actually 11 legal issues that we address in total inside that first lesson that you may have to deal with. But just the process of reviewing the legal status of your business on this high of a level will give you a great deal of clarity and help shape your vision for where you want your business to go. Now, once you have finished this first lesson, you'll learn that the secret of maintaining total legal protection is to ensure intentional verification is implemented throughout your entire online business. That's from your legal foundation to your online presence, to your contracts, to your intellectual property. So just how effective is intentional verification? Well, Jared said, and again, these are two of my students that have made it through my course. Jared said, I had so many questions in regards to starting a business and just got done with the first week of the course and have learned so much. Many of the questions I had with starting a business and what entity I should use, set up, have been answered. And Karina says, the toolkit provided solid templates to protect my website, get ready for contracting, and so much more. But what turned out really invaluable for me were the group video calls, and we're going to talk about those in just a little bit. Now that you understand the basics of intentional verification, I want to show you how it works in action with the next pillar of our Lock It Down system, and that is keeping your intellectual property safe. Now, the third pillar is intellectual property, and I define that as property, but not real estate the way we would all think of property. We're talking about property such as an idea, an invention, or a process that derives from the work of the mind or intellect. Now, if you struggle with understanding what intellectual property is or why it is important to keep protected, what I'm about to tell you is going to be extremely helpful. The secret to building a successful and valuable online business lies in making sure that all of your intellectual property is properly protected. You see, when you're building an online course, you're creating something out of nothing. You're creating a valuable asset that only previously existed in your mind. What most course creators do is they create an amazing and valuable course, but then they do nothing to protect it. And then they're constantly worried about whether someone will come along and try to copy what they have created. For many creators, it's this exact worry that keeps them from creating anything at all. Once again, that worried entrepreneur we talked about at the beginning has reared its ugly head and held you back from becoming successful. Now, when you're using the Lock It Down system and intentional verification in conjunction with building your online course or your online business, you'll be taking all of the proper steps to protect your intellectual property as you go. So, how do we do it? How do we set our clients up for long-term success by protecting their intellectual property in an intentional and systematic way, such that we can confidently say that no stone has been left unturned and that all intellectual property assets are 100% protected? Well, once again, it comes down to intentional verification that's present throughout our system. This is a completely unique way to ensure that each of our clients has identified all of their intellectual property, categorized it properly, conducted a cost-benefit analysis of the respective assets, and then properly registered the assets that may require further protections. Intentional verification allows our students and their clients to systematically grow a portfolio of intellectual property assets that will create additional value for their online business over time. As your brand grows, so grows the value of your intellectual property, and these intellectual property assets can be bought, sold, licensed for a fee, or even used as collateral for a loan to further fuel your business. Pretty cool, huh? Which brings us to Legally Legit CEO's secret number 3. Legally protecting your business requires actually less effort. Legally Legit CEOs know that effort is a limited resource, and because of that, they need to detach themselves from effort. A lot of course creators identify as a quote-unquote hard worker, and the problem with that is they subconsciously go out of their way to make things hard. They are actually afraid of things being too easy. They overcomplicate tasks to make things more difficult just so they can feel like they're working hard. Now, legally protecting your business requires you to shift into a new identity, to be intentional about the process you follow to build and protect your business, not following every new idea and strategy as it comes along, getting nowhere. If you want to legally protect your business, you're going to need a system. And if legally protecting your business depends solely on your effort and your research, then you're actually limiting your growth. You're limiting the impact you can have. And yes, you're limiting the amount of legal protections you're going to have in your business. Now, listen, everyone knows that if you use a proven system, you can replicate a desirable outcome. The problem is that most of the legal information out there is not tied to any particular process or holistic approach. As a result, you find yourself running around all day trying to work on your business, create content, build systems from scratch, and then, if you have time, do even more research on how to keep your business legally protected. Who can relate to this? Just raise your hand. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're still awake. I'm just kidding, kind of. Maybe a little bit. Jen raised your hand. Great. The problem you're faced with is that you are trying to reinvent the wheel to legally protect your business. But because you have no legal training, you have no idea how to do that. Now, I used to be in the same boat as a young lawyer until I discovered a new approach to making sure all of my clients were legally protected that required much less time and much less effort. And if it's okay with you, I'd love to share that with you. In my Lock It Down system, our students are constantly working on the legal aspects of their online business. When they create a new piece of content, when they develop a new brand, when they hire a new contractor, when they launch a new course, or even a new business, they are legally protecting themselves every step of the way. Now, we do this through a combination of established systems and legal templates. By incorporating our systems into your everyday workflows, we ensure that you put the proper legal protections in place at the appropriate time to do so. This means that whether you're bringing on a new team member or drafting a new blog post or creating a new brand, you'll have a system and a process to follow that will shift your beliefs about what is needed legally, help you to determine what legal steps are necessary, and allow you to maintain absolute legal protections for your business. Now, legally legit CEOs play the long game. They aren't in this for the quick win. They want to build something real and sustainable. And since our clients are building and growing their businesses on a daily basis, they naturally have more legal needs and issues to deal with. And infusing legal systems into your business is the key to maximizing your legal protections. Now, have you ever tried to put together a bike or some other piece of complicated machinery without using the instructions? I'll tell you right now, I have. Last year, because of COVID, all the bike parts were like backed up like 6 months. So we had to order my son a bike online, and it came in a box, and I had to put it together. This scared me. The result was not pretty. I was so nervous about letting my son ride that bike that I actually took it to a bike store to have them put it back together for me to make sure that it was safe to ride. So our established legal systems and the processes allow you as a course creator, as an online business, to plug these protections into your existing processes in a way that seamlessly integrates legal protections into your day-to-day routines. Implementing the legal systems that we teach inside the Lock It Down system provides seamless legal protections for your entire business and much needed peace of mind for you. So just how effective are our legal systems? Well, Maria, who is one of our students, said that the downloadable forms were great for development of our privacy policy in terms of use. Also, your guidance helped us greatly in the establishment of our LLC. I would like to recommend your course to others. Which takes us to the fourth pillar of the Lock It Down system, and that's contracts. A contract is a legally enforceable and binding agreement between two or more persons or parties. Legally legit CEOs understand how to leverage their business with contracts so that they can avoid lost revenue, protect their intellectual property, and clarify their business relationships. Most course creators or online entrepreneurs struggle with creating legally enforceable contracts, if they ever create any contracts at all. And as a result, they expose themselves to chargebacks from their bank, risk losing their intellectual property, and fail to build sustainable and lasting streams of revenue in their business. Now, maybe you can relate to the feeling of complete hopelessness and frustration that comes when you receive a refund request from a customer months after they purchased, or a chargeback notice from your bank. Or worse, you spend valuable time working on a client project only to get stiffed after sending the invoice. If you want to avoid these issues in the future, then you need to keep listening. So let's talk about contracts for a minute. As I mentioned before, a contract is a legally enforceable and binding agreement between two or more persons or parties. Typically, this means that you provide something of value, that's called legal consideration, to your customer or client. And typically that's going to be access to your course or digital product that you poured months of your blood, sweat, and tears into. And they're going to provide you with reciprocal consideration, which is typically financial compensation in return. In other words, you're going to provide a service or a course, they're going to give you money. That's a contract. Inside the Lock It Down system, we provide a number of lawyer-drafted contracts that you can easily customize to your unique situation using our proprietary document drafting software. We want you to leverage each contract you create to the maximum advantage, and you can't do that if you're trying to cut and paste various clauses and paragraphs into a sloppy contract that doesn't accomplish what you already originally intended. The thing I love the most about our document drafting system is that you can have a lawyer-approved contract that is fully customized to your unique situation in as little as 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm going to show you that here at the very end. And then once you've finished drafting each contract, we want you to use it in the correct way to make sure all of your legal relationships are protected. Now, there are numerous types of contracts that you may need in your online business, and those include client contracts, contractor agreements, terms of sale, etc. And I'm talking to people specifically like Jeff, who mentioned that he's not an online business, but I bet you he uses contracts. Using the wrong contract in the wrong situation could actually hurt your legal protections. Since we drafted all of these contracts from scratch, we have this down to a science. Everything is automated using our custom document drafting system to ensure that all of your legal relationships are protected and safe. Once we add legally enforceable contracts to your arsenal, it just adds fuel to the fire. Enforceable contracts basically equals maximum protection, which leads us to Legally Legit CEO's secret number 4, being ready as a choice, not a product of circumstance. So it's an excuse to stay inside your comfort zone and put off doing something new. It's literally an excuse. I can tell some people how a YouTuber tried to DIY his LLC and messed it up, immediately receiving a cease and desist letter. But they'll make some excuse about why that wouldn't happen to them. I can show some people how a blogger built a great brand only to have a large corporation rip it off and use it as their own, and sending him a threatening cease and desist letter to shut down his blog. These are both true stories. And they will still sit there and come up with an excuse about, well, that's never going to happen to me. I can still show more people how a small marketing company built an amazing business only to go out of business after learning that they had been using a name that was trademarked by another company. Again, true story. Legally Legit CEOs knows that when it comes to creating legal protections in their business, waiting until they're ready is a trap. And they will still come up with even more excuses about why they don't need to worry about that. While some people argue that legal protections are a waste of money, Legally Legit CEOs lean into what is necessary to legally protect my business. And here's 2 more case studies from students that have been through my course. Fran Jean says, the reassurance that my site has got solid privacy policy in terms of service in place. Crazy as it sounds, as a web designer, this hadn't been a high priority, but this course made me realize that the fine print is not just for big corporations. And then Brad says that the toolkit has given me the courage to move forward with my dream of having an online business. You've helped me understand that those mistakes exist, and second, how not to make those mistakes. And I am encouraging others to follow your channel and consider purchasing your toolkit. So once our students learn about setting up a strong legal foundation, which we talked about in pillar number 1, they will start to understand what is possible with their business. And it's no secret that the most profitable and successful online business owners are the ones who take their legal protections seriously. They realize, even when they're just getting started, that legal protections should not be viewed as a cost, but rather they are an investment that will have a tremendous ROI during the life of your business. I always cringe when I see people falling into the trap of ignoring the legal side of their business because they quote unquote aren't ready. Every online business owner needs to take appropriate precautions to legally protect their business. Writer and philosopher George Santayana famously said, "Those who do not learn history are doomed to repeat it." There are cases upon cases with real life examples of what can happen to online businesses that fail to put proper legal protections in place. Real life stories: the blogger whose trademark was stolen, the freelancer without a contract who lost thousands on a job they were never paid for, the creator whose course was pirated and sold by a competitor at a steep discount, the business sale that fell through because the brand name was never properly protected, or a client I'm working with right now who got stiffed on his contract because it didn't have the proper clauses in place that he needed to enforce that contract. Thousands upon thousands of dollars in lost revenue and countless hours of needless stress, all because proper legal protections were not used. Failure to put proper legal protections in place will cost your online business thousands of dollars. It's not a matter of if, but of when. If you have this idea in your head that you're going to save money by trying to manage your legal protections on your own, then you definitely need to keep listening, because in my experience, the opposite has been true. Handling legal on your own without help is a surefire way to financial ruin. It's true. In fact, the biggest mistake most course creators and online entrepreneurs make is not investing in legal protections sooner. Like many of you listening today, many online entrepreneurs and course creators are improperly told that legal is not important and that they can handle it on their own. They typically find this information in private discussion forums or in Facebook groups from other uninformed and naive online entrepreneurs. I've seen it myself in these groups. And whenever I read a post that says that legal protections are a waste of money, I absolutely cringe. And it's not because I'm a lawyer and I have seen firsthand what can happen to people that don't seek out legal advice right away. It's because I know that there are unsuspecting entrepreneurs out there who are not here tonight that are going to listen to this advice and they're going to follow it to their detriment. Remember that lake that we showed at the very beginning? They're going to try and cross that lake, and maybe they make it through, maybe they don't. But they're going to think, oh, legal's not important. I don't need to worry about it, until it is important. And some of those people will find out all too late just how bad that advice actually is. And that is yet another reason why I created my Lock It Down legal protection system. As a dad and an online entrepreneur, I had to prioritize. So many lawyers live and die by the billable hour. And as a result, they've remained single. They've got no kids or family. They've got absolutely no social life outside of working 80 hours a week, which has gotten even worse during COVID, to meet their billable hour requirements. Being a husband and a father who has time to spend with my family, that's incredibly important to me. And it has further strengthened my focus and my resolve that to build a successful online business that doesn't require me billing 2,000 hours a year. It's led me to develop creative solutions for my clients like the Lock It Down system and not get caught up in what all the other lawyers are telling me to do. The traditional legal practice posed really three problems for me. My income was entirely dependent on the amount of time I billed. This required me to work long, inefficient hours to hit my financial goals, which frustrated my clients. And the traditional law firm model wasn't particularly satisfying to me personally. You see, the traditional law firm business model is built around the notion that the most profitable law firms will be the most inefficient. The more time a lawyer spends on a given task, the more they can bill for that work. This puts the interests of the client in direct conflict with the lawyer, who's supposed to be putting the client's needs first. And I noticed that the satisfaction that I felt from serving my clients gradually began to decrease. With technology and the systems I developed to serve my clients, I was actually losing money because my firm was growing more efficient. I could read the writing on the wall, and I knew that hourly billing was actually killing my business. Every day I worried about how I would pay the bills and earn enough money to support my family. I was stuck in the worried entrepreneur life and I didn't even know it. So if you're listening right now and you have ever tried to work with a lawyer that bills by the hour, I see you. I finally realized that there was a better way to deliver legal services to my clients, and that was to sell my legal systems directly. Now, I realize that for this business model to work, there has to be a certain level of responsibility on the part of my students and customers. Purchasing a legal course or a legal template is not, I repeat, is not the same as hiring a lawyer. Ensuring that your online course is legally protected is really dependent on two things. And this is very important. If you don't get anything else from me tonight, you need to pay attention to this. Number one, your own personal limitations, and two, how well you implement the system. So let's talk about how your personal limitations will affect your ability to implement your own legal protections. There are some people who are just not cut out to implement legal protections on their own without the help of a lawyer or someone else on their team that can assist in implementing the Lock It Down system. If you operate more on emotion and find that systems scare you, then you may find that the Lock It Down system and maybe even building an online business itself will be difficult to implement in the long term. You may be better off hiring a lawyer to handle all of this for you or someone to help you work through my system. But on the other hand, if you love rules and checklists and order, then the Lock It Down system will be exactly what you need to legally protect your online business and keep it that way. But the keeping it that way is the next major X factor. Your ability to legally protect your online business is directly tied to your ability to implement the Lock It Down system and then continue to work the system over time. Legal is not a set it and forget it. It's something you have to continue with over time. Legal protections, I guess I knew this slide well. Legal protections are not something that you put in place one time and then forget about. Every month, every quarter, every year, you should have processes in place that remind you to go back and review all of the pillars of this system to make sure you're maintaining your legal protections. The Lock It Down system will help you manage these processes and work for you, even if your online business is just getting started. That's because you'll be able to incorporate the systems and processes, including our intentional verification system, into everything that you do in your business. Over time, our processes will become second nature to you, and you won't even have to think about them anymore. One of the best things about having legal protections in place is that you can stop the cycle of worry that you're doing something wrong or that keeps you paralyzed from doing anything at all. That's because when you put legal protections in place in your business and follow up and maintain those protections, they will keep your business protected no matter what you do or build in your business. Even better, you won't have to wait for a call back from a lawyer that is charging you $500 an hour. You will literally be building the legal protections directly into your business while you're building your business at the same time. Look, when everyone talks about putting legal protections in place, they automatically think, I need to form an LLC. But what most failing entrepreneurs never realize is that having adequate legal protections in place also means protecting your online presence, protecting your intellectual property, and drafting the appropriate contracts to lock down and protect all areas of your business. So when you set up your first LLC and do it properly, you're putting some legal protections in place that are going to help you. But this is only one small aspect of legally protecting your online business. And not only that, the process of putting an LLC in place is confusing and complicated. And if not done properly, you're going to lose all of the protections you thought you had by forming that LLC in the first place. And forming your LLC triggers a whole laundry list of other things that must be done to make sure your business doesn't lose the protection of the corporate veil. Hopefully it's clear to you by now that legally protecting your online business isn't just about LLCs. It's about consistently applying the Lock It Down methodology across your entire business. And failing to put the proper legal protections in place is just slowing down your growth. So, why are legal protections such a crucial component when it comes to building a successful business? The obvious answer is that prospective clients and customers are going to take your business much more seriously when you have legal protections in place. But more importantly, what it really does is it shifts your thinking and gives you the mental mindset that your business is legitimate and worthy of the success that you are experiencing. Without even realizing it, the legal protections you put in place will start to strip down the imposter syndrome. How many people have heard of that? That you might be feeling that is holding you back from true and lasting success. Now, when building a business, you have one chance to make a first impression with your prospective clients and customers. It might be the trademark you created, or the contract you sent to a client, or the legal notices that are placed on your website. When you don't have a trademark, or your client contract is sloppy and unclear, or you don't have any legal notices on your website, then people take notice. And whether you like it or not, and they may think twice about hiring you or purchasing your course or products or services. All of that hard work and money you spent to get that customer, to get that prospect, is up in smoke. But when you follow the lock it down method, all these things are removed as potential barriers for people to purchase your product or service. And because my methodology utilizes systems at every step of the process, everything is interconnected, which allows you to take back control of your business. Legal protections coupled with our systems empower you to have more control over your business if you're doing it correctly. Now, most course creators attempt to implement legal protections without a system, which of course leads to disastrous results. This is the chaos that we talked about before. They feel defeated. They feel demoralized. They're thinking that maybe online entrepreneurship just won't work for them. But no, this isn't the case at all. You can legally protect your online business, but only if you're using all of the components of the Lock It Down system at once. That means establishing a solid legal foundation, protecting your online presence, developing rock-solid contracts, and keeping your intellectual property safe. You can't legally protect your online business unless you're using all of these together. And it's my belief that the best way to develop and scale a world-class program is to make sure you lock it down. Now, when your online course is legally protected, you can focus your time on improving the course, serving your community, and you can put more energy into making your course the best course possible for your students, or if you've got an online business, for your clients and customers. And isn't that what we're all here to do? To develop a world-class program that serves your community and adds tremendous value to the world and has more impact? That's what I'm here to do. That's what I want to do. Legally legit CEOs are not stressed about getting sued or having the intellectual property stolen because they have the proper legal protections in place, which enables them to build a team. It enables them to worry less about their bills. It enables them to spend their time where it should be spent on being the true visionary of their company. Let me take a sip of water here. Now, if you take one thing away from this training tonight, I want you to know that you can, with the right methodology and support, you can build a legitimate and sustainable business that is capable of providing consistent and scalable revenue month after month. You can be the legally legit CEO of your own online business. The Lock It Down system is a proven methodology that is responsible for helping hundreds of online entrepreneurs and course creators get their businesses legally protected for good, enjoying a life free from worry and stress while positively impacting the lives of their students along the way. So the big question is, how can you legally protect your online course and start enjoying the benefits that come with a lack of worry and stress? And again, when I say online course, I mean online business, your business. How can you start to protect that? If you're still watching, we both know you need help and are committed to getting out of that worried entrepreneur cycle. You're sick and tired of being stressed and sick and tired and worried and just want to follow a method that works. You're ready to take control of your online course business and to become a legally legit CEO. Legally legit CEOs rely on established systems to legally protect their business. We talked about this before. They don't rely on trial and error. With your permission, I would like to take a few more minutes to present you with the package that I have developed for you tonight. Does that work for you? Hands up. Yes in the comments. Let me know. Most of the people that started with us are still here, so that's awesome. We got, like I said, we got a small group, but I think we got a devoted group tonight, so I'm excited about this. So as many of you know, many of you probably found me through YouTube. Some of you might have found me through Facebook. I see Jen. It says, okay. Jen, aren't you already a student in the course? If you are, that's great. I'm glad that you're here, but you're free to listen again. If you're not, I might be confusing with you with another Jen. But as my YouTube channel has grown, I've been blessed. I've got over 119,000 subs now. The demands on my time have exceeded my capacity to deliver one-to-one client services. So I had two choices. About a year ago when COVID hit, I was thinking about all this. I could continue to raise my legal fees, which didn't align with my core values, and I could turn away lots of entrepreneurs that couldn't afford to hire me. Or I could find a way to package my knowledge, templates, checklists, and information into a course that could help more entrepreneurs become legally legit CEOs. So take a step back. Much like how you're feeling now, when I was first getting started in online business and running my law practice, I ran into many roadblocks. I didn't know how to protect my online business from unknown or unforeseen risks. I didn't know where my legal weaknesses were. So I had to create a framework for myself. And I had to do a ton of research. I spent hours of my time figuring out how to legally protect my online business. And I started to create this framework that I could use for myself and for my clients. And I did that so that you don't have to spend hours in the law library researching how to protect your business. I've already done it for you. I packaged everything I know into the Lock It Down legal protection system. And now you can use this system to protect your own online business and starting your business off on the right legal foot from the very beginning. So let me take you through what you'll get when you sign up right now. What this program is going to help you do. It's going to help you to, number one, look objectively at your business and determine where your legal weaknesses are. It's going to help you to determine the best legal structure for your business. It's going to help you to identify and protect your intellectual property. It's going to help you to create the legal documents that you need to keep your business compliant and safe. It's going to help rid you of the fear that comes from not knowing whether you're handling your business the right way, the legal way. It's going to give you access to the legal tools that you need to get your questions answered. And it's going to help you to protect your business from unknown or unforeseen legal risks. And finally, it's going to help you to solidify your contractual relationships with your clients, vendors, and your contractors. Now, when I was putting this course together, I had two choices. I could go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many toolkits as possible, or I could go with another option, which obviously would require slightly higher investment on your side, but it also allowed me to invest more time and effort into building the course. Now, before we get to that, I want to just briefly touch on what your options are for legal services if you're building a business. So, and before we talk about that, I just want to ask a question, and that is, if your online business was legally set up for total and complete success, how much is that worth to you? Just think about that. Maybe type a comment in the comment box. Let me know, what is legal protection worth to you? And in terms of options, one option is you could do nothing and you might be fine. You probably will be fine, at least for a while. A lot of people don't do anything. Nothing bad happens. It's okay, right? It's a dangerous thing to do, but it's something you could do. Or you could hire a lawyer. A starting fee for a lawyer to set up your LLC for you, maybe do a custom contract, some other things, not much else, is around $3,000 to $5,000. You could do that. That's an option. You could go to another DIY service. There's lots of them out there. You could spend several $1,000s with some faceless corporation without knowing exactly what you're getting. And probably what you're going to be getting is a really expensive LLC. Or you could wait until the proverbial shoe drops and something bad happens. And that's kind of tied to the you could spend nothing and you might be fine. eventually the proverbial shoe will drop. And here's kind of the cost of doing nothing. Number one, you're unable to get paid after you did a job because you didn't have a contract. That happens. I'm dealing with clients right now that's happened to them. You live on the East Coast and someone sues you on the West Coast. I don't do any litigation, but if I did, I imagine I come across those issues. You spend a considerable amount upfront to hire a contractor that then defaults on your contract. I actually have another client that happened to her. She spent a lot of money, and then she fired the person because the person went crazy, and that person threatened to sue her. So luckily she had a contract in place. It wasn't a great contract, but, or let's say you receive a cease and desist letter from a competitor alleging that you stole their content. People call me about this quite frequently. And then finally, the FTC files a lawsuit against you for a violation of federal privacy laws. Or someone rips off your blog or your brand name. I've seen probably 80% of these situations. And I can tell you the cost of dealing with them is expensive. The 20% that I haven't seen personally, I know of other people that have seen it. Any single one of these events could cost you thousands of dollars in legal fees, and that's conservative to get resolved. Or there's another option. You can invest into a proven system now and greatly reduce the risk that any of these events would ever happen to you. This way, when your business is starting to grow in the way that you've worked so hard for, things won't come to a grinding halt just because you find yourself in the middle of a chaotic and stressful legal challenge. So just a little perspective. Excuse me, I think I need a sip of water. Clients pay me anywhere in the realm of $6,000 to $25,000 a year for the information that I provide in this course. The reason they pay me that money is because I implement everything for them in addition to providing them that information. But honestly, many of you are not at a point in your business where you could afford to pay that much for a lawyer, nor would I feel comfortable taking your money if I couldn't provide you with at least a 10x return on that investment. And at the same time, I don't want you to keep copying and pasting other people's contracts or put off filing your LLC or wasting time confused about how or what intellectual property you should invest in protecting. And I definitely don't want you waiting until something bad happens with your business to reach out to me because you're in a crisis. The best way I know and I knew to help you create a legitimate, secure, and protected online business is through my Lock It Down system. And that's only available to members of my online business legal toolkit. So Maria is a student that went through the course. She runs an online marketplace, and she said that the course will continue to provide value over time. They were great for development of her privacy policy in terms of use, and the guidance greatly helped us in the establishment of our LLC. In addition, she would like to recommend my course to others who are creating their own online business if possible. Now, I'm about to show you how this toolkit is worth well over $10,000. But because you've attended this webinar training with me today, I'm going to give you a very special offer. And before I get into it, I know what you're thinking. I'm not a lawyer. I can't do this on my own. But I want to tell you, I've developed legal checklists, templates, video trainings, put it together in a nice, easy to use package with interview-based technology that makes this toolkit simple for anyone to use, not just lawyers. So when you sign up, you're going to get access to the Online Business Legal Toolkit course, including my Lock It Down Legal Protection System. Total value, $29.97. It includes Module 1, starting with a solid legal foundation, protecting your online web presence and properties, keeping your intellectual property safe, and maintaining your contractual relationships. And you can go from a worried entrepreneur to a legally legit CEO. So this is a snapshot of Module 1. It shows it includes checklists, templates, video tutorials, all about how to set up a strong legal foundation for your business. Module 2, we get into protecting your online properties, including some of the templates are the privacy policy, website terms and conditions, terms of sale, legal disclaimers, And then we also have some checklists about how to protect your website as well. Module 3 gets into the contracts that you need for working with clients, vendors, and contractors, including a client contract, employee contracts, an independent contractor agreement, and more checklists. And then module 4, we're talking about how to keep your intellectual property safe. We have a 20-minute overview of intellectual property. We have a 15-minute video on how to register your copyrights. We have a how to do a proper trademark search video where I walk you through an example of me doing a preliminary trademark search. We have another 20-minute video on how to register your trademarks that shows you how to fill out the application online. And then we have an intellectual property checklist. Now, Fran Jeans was another one of my students that went through the course. She says that the reassurance that my site has got a solid privacy policy and terms of service in place, crazy as it sounds, as a web designer, this hadn't been a high priority, but the course made me realize that all the fine print is not just for big corporations or e-commerce businesses. So who's this toolkit going to work for? Well, it's going to work for course creators, freelancers, aspiring group coaches, bloggers, podcasters, social media influencers, coaches and consultants, affiliate marketers, e-commerce folks, people that are selling on Shopify, people that are selling on Etsy, people are selling on eBay, Amazon, all those type of people, YouTubers, it's going to work for. But you're thinking, I'm not sure I need this yet because I don't have an online business. Well, if you have an idea of a business that you want to start, it's a great first step. People who invest in themselves and take action are the ones that are going to be the most successful. So let's go over again what you're going to get. You're going to get the system. Total value is $29.97. And now every successful business must use systems to grow. The same is true with the legal aspects of protecting your online business. So to make sure you have maximum legal protection, you need to use a system of intentional verification to make sure you've covered all your bases. So I've created a series of legal checklists that you can use to make sure every area of your business is legally protected. I've already gone over some of them, but here's a more complete list. We're going to have an online business legal audit for you. We're going to have a business entity choice checklist. We're going to have a 10-step entity formation checklist. We're going to have an online terms of service and privacy policies checklist. We're going to have a contractor employee checklist. Oh, I just went through those pretty fast here. And I know what you're thinking. I'm not a lawyer. I won't understand how to use this system. Well, it's created with non-lawyers in mind. I've made them simple, clear, and concise. And with these documents, anyone could pick them up and protect their online business. Now, my intentional verification system took me years of experience and research to create and develop. Clients pay me significant legal fees to gain the benefits of this system and the protections that this system provides. So not only is this system going to save you thousands of dollars in hiring lawyers to help you now, but it's also going to help you to uncover those hidden legal problem areas in your business, potentially keeping your business out of legal trouble and saving you thousands in future legal fees. So Mario was another student that went through the course. He says the course provided me with more clarity about the legal documents required for my website and business, plus actually getting the legal templates I needed to get started. All right, so the system itself is $29.97. The intentional verification system is $14.97. Total value $44.94. Let's talk about contracts for a minute. That's another major tool that lawyers use to protect their clients. I've included some legal templates to help you protect your website, protect your relationships, and protect you from lawsuits, as well as from unforeseen risks. Here are some of the contracts that you're going to get in the system. You're going to get a website terms of service. You're going to get a privacy policy. You're going to get a website terms of sale, a legal disclaimers galore, an independent contractor agreement, a one-to-one client contract, an LLC operating agreement. And coming soon, we've got a group coaching contract that's coming very soon. I'm almost finished with it. A copyright assignment coming soon, and a podcast guest agreement also coming soon. And many more. Now, if you go to my website at hawthornelaw.net, you'll see that these are all the contracts we have listed for sale currently. Total value of all these is $17.79. You're going to get all of them in the course. So we've got the Lock It Down legal protection system, the intentional verification system, the legal templates and contracts. Total value so far, we're up to $6,273. But you're thinking, I don't sell anything on my website, so this isn't going to work for me. And this is what Jeff mentioned earlier. But that's not true, because almost every online entrepreneur, offline entrepreneur, course creator, or coach has some sort of online presence, whether it's a social media profile on Instagram, a YouTube channel, maybe you're on Nextdoor, Facebook, whatever, Yelp. You've got some sort of online presence. Not to mention, you have a need for the legal foundational principles to get put in place. So another bonus you're going to get is access to our Facebook community, where you can ask questions. If you have simple questions that you can't wait for the group coaching calls, which I'm going to be talking about here in a second, you can ask them in the Facebook community, and I respond to questions in there on almost a daily basis as they come up. So what you're going to get: the Lock It Down system, the intentional verification system, the legal templates and contracts, the private Facebook community. Total value $74.61. And to show that I'm really interested and invested in your success. Now, this is something that came up because I did group coaching when I first started the program last year. It wasn't something I anticipated continuing doing, but when I surveyed people after my beta launch, they said, we really want to see more group coaching. So I'm going to give you 6 months of group coaching. The value of this is $497 a month. These calls, honestly, are the key to ensuring your success. Every month, we touch on a different legal topic that will be relevant to your business, everything from legal templates to seasonal information to current events. This may turn out to be the most valuable hour of your month. Total value here, $29.82. This is a limited time only bonus. I'm moving very soon in the next couple months to a subscription model where this is going to be the subscription. So people will have to buy the course and then they get the coaching on the back end for a monthly fee. So you're going to get 6 months. You're going to be covered through the end of 2021, and you'll get access to all the group coaching until then. So what you're going to get: the system, the Lock It Down system, the intentional verification system, the legal templates, the private Facebook community, and the limited time bonus, the 6 months of legal coaching, which honestly I think is the most valuable part of the whole program. Total value, $10,443. And the current pricing now, if you go to my website on Tuesday, I'm going to be, the price that you're going to see for the program is $14.95. And so that's the current pricing for lifetime access. By taking action today, you're going to save $500 off the normal price of the toolkit. So instead of $14.95, it's $9.97 today. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and post, now that I've revealed the price, I am going to post a link to where you can go to access that. Also, I will tell you, you can also make 3 payments of $397. Now, you've got 2 choices. You can do nothing, or you can invest in you and your future. And I ask you, is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out? Even if it only does half of what I've claimed today, your investment will pay for itself as soon as you use the legal templates. So what you're going to get: the Lock It Down system, the intentional verification system, the legal templates and contracts, the private Facebook community, and the limited time bonus, 6 months of legal coaching is $29.82. Total value $10,443, but your price tonight is $997. But I said at the beginning, there's a fast action bonus. This is for people that attend the webinar only. This is for the first 10 signups. And I will tell you, we're underneath that threshold now because I had a lot of people sign up on the 3 o'clock hour, but we do have a couple slots left for this. So the first 10 people to sign up at full pay will get a one-to-one legal strategy call for free, which is a $299 value. And so you will get that. In addition, the secret bonus is how to get started in your online business and make your first $1,000. That's valued at $497. This is specifically for people who are just getting started in their business and aren't quite sure what to do. I wanted to add a bonus workshop in there that'll help you get started. This is the exact system that I use to build my online business to multiple six figures and hopefully seven figures very soon. And so I give it to you away for about $500. So getting started today. And again, if you're watching the replay, the strategy call is no longer available if you're watching the replay, because I'm guessing you're watching tomorrow or some other time. I will tell you, if I haven't sold all 10 slots, that strategy call goes away at 9 o'clock tonight, Eastern time. So just so you know, if we do sell all 10 slots, and I'm not sure if we have yet or not, if we do sell all 10, it'll still be available in the checkout. If we don't sell all 10, they go away at 9 o'clock. Usually we get pretty close to selling that out, if not selling that out. It's also going to include the secret bonuses, including making your first 1,000 online. Jen, I think you're already in it if you're not already in it. So you don't need to sign up again if you don't want to. It's the same program that you've already got access to, unless you want to purchase it again. I don't recommend. It'd be cheaper for you to just pay me $299 for the coaching calls. But that just shows how valuable it is, because here's somebody that's in the course already and wants to buy it a second time, which is great. So anyway, the secret bonuses are how to make your first $1,000 online, the 6 group coaching calls, and much more. So what you're going to get the Lock It Down system. You're going to get the intentional verification system. You're going to get access to all legal contracts and templates. You're going to get access to the private Facebook community. You're going to get the bonus number 1, 6 months of group coaching. You're going to get the free strategy call. You're going to earn your first. You're going to get earn your first 1K course. You're going to get a separate bonus on how to keep your website safe from scammers and copycats. That's included within the training. And you're going to get the 10 avoidable legal mistakes made by online entrepreneurs. That's also included in the training, as well as my Lock It Down legal audit scorecard. You're going to get all of these things. So total value, $11,730. Like I said, or you can make 3 payments of $397. I'm happy to take questions. We've got people tailing off here. I'm going to go real quick and see if, let's see here, if I can do this. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second, and I want to see if there's people on YouTube. That are watching. Or you can make 3 payments of $397. I'm happy to take questions. We've got people tailing off. All right. So I do have a lot. Well, I had a lot of comments on YouTube. Let's see. I'm looking to see if there's any questions here that I can answer. All right. Well, I don't see any recent questions here. All right. So anyway, we're here. Let me know if you have any questions. Just post them in the Q&A. I'm happy to answer them for you, or you can raise your hand. And let me just go back into the chat. I'm not seeing a whole lot of questions. Like I said, I did this second live training tonight because I wanted to make sure I had a replay that I could submit to people tomorrow. I didn't anticipate a whole lot of people showing up. We didn't get a whole lot of people showing up, but let me know if you have any questions, and I'm happy to answer them. Feel free to leave a comment in the chat. If I don't see any comments, I'm going to probably shut this down here pretty quick and head out. Jeff says, thank you, Jim. Very informative. Great presentation. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Does anybody, again, leave a Q&A? I will go over a couple things, some of the things that pop up. I get questions a lot from people who ask, I haven't started my business yet. And should I buy that? Should I buy this? Well, my response there is, how serious are you about your business? If you're pretty serious about your business, then I think this is a great bridge to get the legal help that you're going to need for your business, even if you don't have it in place now. So it really depends on how serious you are. I can't really answer that question without knowing how serious you are about your business. Other people ask, what makes your course different than other templates? The biggest thing that makes my course different from other templates is that I'm not a faceless corporation, right? I'm a solo attorney. I've got a law firm. I've got a YouTube channel. I've got some virtual staff that help me. And pre-COVID, we had staff here at the law firm as well. But I've drafted these contracts. If you have an issue, you're going to be dealing with me. You're not going to be dealing with some customer service agent somewhere. And I try and be very responsive to my students in terms of what they're looking for and what they want. And we can make changes to the course and things on the fly. How long do I have access? So that's a great question. The course itself, you'll have lifetime access. And what that means is you'll have access for as long as I offer the course, which I hope will be a very long time. I don't have no intention of shutting it down anytime soon. In terms of the group coaching calls, you'll have access for 6 months. And for those of you that are on YouTube, that are watching me on YouTube right now, this is live. I saw some comments. People thought this might be a replay. I can't see your comments, so I can't very well respond to you. Although, if you want to come in to the Zoom room, if you give me a second, I can probably get the link for that. Let me just see if I can find the link. Sorry, give me a second here. I just know there's some people out there on YouTube that have comments, have questions, and they might want to get in here and check it out. So I'm happy to give you the link to do that. And I will post it. All right, I'm going to go into YouTube right now. You might want to get in here and all right, so I just posted a link to the Zoom room in there, so feel free. And I will try and monitor the chat a little bit as well. This is, yes, this is still live. All right, so we still have a couple of people on from the original presentation. What legal templates are included? So in terms of the templates that are included, it's about $2,000 worth of templates plus more coming. You'll get not only all the templates that are currently available in my store, but you'll get any future templates that I add to my contract store will be also included, and that's part of the lifetime access. And so currently we have a privacy policy, a website terms of service, a website terms of sale, a client contract, DMCA takedown notice, independent contractor agreement. We have a bunch of legal disclaimers. There's more I can't remember, but we have a number of legal templates, and we're adding more. I'm in the process of finishing up a group coaching contract that's also going to go in to the store. Some people ask, I have an offline business. Will this course work? As I mentioned before, yes, this will absolutely work. If you have an offline business, because if you have an offline business, you still need to worry about the legal aspects of running that business. You still might need to worry about trademarks. You still might need to have contracts in place for your business. And so, yeah, you're gonna need to worry about all of that stuff. Let's see here. So those are the questions I had, the main questions that come up. Let's see how many people we still have. We're dwindling in numbers here. The replay is going to be up. I will send this out tomorrow. I think I'm going to turn off the training at this point, but hopefully you have a great evening. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to email us, support@hawthornelaw.net, if you'd like to ask us questions about it. Otherwise, we still have a couple spots available for the strategy call. We still have several available. That'll be open for about another half hour or so. I love doing these presentations, and I appreciate all of you coming out and spending your Thursday night with me, and looking forward to seeing you on the next presentation. All right, take care, folks.